on your boots and parachutes. Shoot, we're going out.
We're all American and proud to be.
Boots and parachutes.
For we're the soldiers of liberty.
Shoots, we're going
Some ride their gliders through the enemy.
we're coming
Others are sky paratroopers. We're all American and fight we will.
Boots and parachutes.
Till all the guns of the foe are still.
Troops, get ready.
Airborne from skies of blue.
Stand in the door.
We're coming.
Make your jumps and take your bumps today.
Let's go.
Thank you. In this museum, we have some photos and explications about naturally General Eisenhower, General Patton, General Gavin, General Roosevelt, and all these generals came to Sainte-Mère-Église during the war or after the war. And you know, it's very important for us to continue the ties between the people of Normandy, especially the people of Sainte-Mère-Église and the people of the United States of America. And especially with the families of veterans. You know, we receive many veterans here. And now it's an honor and a pleasure for us to receive the son, the daughter, and the grandson, the granddaughter of these veterans. And for the first time, we receive together the grandson, the granddaughter of General Eisenhower with Susan Eisenhower. Of General George Patton with Ellen Patton. General Gavin with John Gavin, and Harry Roosevelt from the family Roosevelt. And thank you so to the General Winsky to be there. And you are in commander of the 82nd Division. Just sorry for my English, but I'll try to do it.
Alors, Madame Eisenhower voudrait dire un petit mot.
Oui, bien sûr.
Go ahead.
Wonderful. Well, first of all, I'd like to start by telling General Winsky how much we appreciated that wonderful performance. When they said that the 82nd Airborne is rough and tough, you bet they were. This was one of the toughest decisions about D-Day that the Supreme Allied Commander Dwight Eisenhower had to make, was whether or not to deploy airborne forces given the challenges they faced. And they did the job. And the entire free world appreciates that effort and that sacrifice. Let me also thank everyone associated with this wonderful museum, the Airborne Museum. It's an extraordinary place, and I know I can speak for all of us, can't I, that we are deeply impressed by the fact that we are in a place that has committed itself to keeping the history of this period alive. I'd also like to recognize the current mayor and the former mayor and thank them and the entire town of Sainte-Mère-Église for really putting U.S.-French relations right at the top of the agenda. This is deeply moving for all of us who come from the United States to see this wonderful welcome that we always receive. Let me just say something on a personal note. I'm also deeply moved by the fact that my grandfather, Dwight Eisenhower, and actually my grandmother too, came here to Sainte-Mère-Église, actually knew the parents of the Renaults, and gave actually one of the gifts you'll see over there in the corner. And so this is very personal for me. I was fortunate enough to know my grandfather well. He spoke often about this battle for Normandy, for France, and to win the war in Europe. And I'm here for him, and I'm here for me. Thank you very much.
I just a very, very small word, also personal. When I was about 11 years old, quand j'étais 11 ans, my father and mother took a trip from Paris here. It was a kind of a big vacation. And I remember sitting at a little restaurant. I think it must have been the John Steele, maybe.
Yeah.
And it was a rainy, ugly day. And in those days, there were no highways, so it was a long, long trip from Paris. You might remember. And for an 11-year-old, pretty tough. But I do remember the former senator, Mr. Jutois, Philippe Jutois, asking my dad. He said, you know, he had a kind of a Maine accent. He says, George, he said, do you have any kind of little artifacts, anything that you could kind of like find us? Because I want to make a little museum. So I remember that very, very well, and I guess the rest is history, and I just want you to remember that.
Okay, thank you.
Like this.
And together like you know each other.
We're old friends. We'll show our
Oh.
So the last medal is oh, there it is.
Just like in cake.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. So you can.
Merci.
Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3. That's good. That's really much better. Better lighting.
I gotta be a little less.
We need good lighting.